I'm Jared Brown, Australian expat financial planner based here in Singapore, working with Australians all over the world. Welcome to my video series where we tackle some of the tough personal finance issues and questions for Aussies all over the globe. Today I'm here to share with you my 6 top tips for selecting the right financial planner. Now, as the saying goes, if you think it's expensive to hire a professional, just wait until you hire an amateur. I'm going to share with you 6 very simple tips to do a little bit of homework if you're approached by a financial planner, you're considering seeking advice, or even if you're considering switching from your current provider. Hopefully that will allow you to make a smart decision when it comes to the advice that you're receiving, and you can trust that it is in your best interests. So let's dive right in. So the first tip is to check out their education and qualifications. Now with LinkedIn, social media, this is a pretty easy thing to do. You can very quickly work out what their qualifications look like. You can look for them on the various registers, whether it be in Singapore, Australia, or elsewhere. Check that they are licensed. Check that the areas that they are licensed to provide you advice on. Now, it's not to say that they need to have an executive master's or masters of financial planning, but just check that you're comfortable with the level of qualifications. If they've come from a completely different background and this is their first foray into the world of finance, you'll want to factor that into your considerations. Not to suggest that that's a bad thing at all, but just to make sure that you're aware. As I said, a very easy thing to check out and quite simple to do with an internet connection and a mobile phone. My second tip is to consider how your interests are actually aligned with your financial planner. Are they owned by a bank or insurance company? Are they tied to a particular product or provider? If they are, do you feel comfortable that they can recommend what is in your best interests? Are they paid equally regardless of the product or solution that they actually advise you on? Are they getting paid regardless of whether you make money and achieve your goals? How will they benchmark your performance? How will they keep you on track to actually achieve the goals that you've set out with them? What incentive do they have to continue to work with you and ensure that you remain on track to achieve your goals? These are all important questions to ask, because when it comes to personal finance, you want to make sure that you've got access to professional advice that you can reach out to if ever you have any concerns, and trust that they're going to provide advice that is in your best interests. My third tip, and to put it very bluntly, is to pick them up and shake them upside down. If lots of money doesn't fall out of their pockets, then why are you getting advice from them? Would you seek advice from a mechanic who doesn't know how to fix their car? A lawyer who's been to jail? Perhaps that would prevent them being a lawyer at all. But it's very important to consider whether the advisor is actually following their own advice, or whether they're just there to sell your product. Ask them about their own financial plans. Now, not every financial planner is going to show you their bank balance or show you the ins and outs of exactly what they're doing, but they should be able to give you a level of comfort that they are actually doing what they are recommending that you do, and not just suggesting that you do something else that pays them the most money. So make sure that you trust the individual or the team that you are actually getting the advice from. My fourth tip, particularly if you're an Aussie expat, is to consider the repatriation piece. Are they familiar with the Australian jurisdiction, the Australian rules, the Australian products, the Australian financial frameworks, what it means to retire in Australia, what the market looks like in Australia? If you are considering working in again or retiring in, bringing up a family in Australia, it's going to be very important, or at least of value, to ensure that you have, or that the advisor has, a solution in place to continue to work with you once you're back in Australia, or a team of people that can. And now this is particularly important even if you're not looking to return to Australia, but instead have assets there. This might be superannuation, it might be property, it might be cash or shares or something different altogether. Because it's important to ensure that your onshore assets are working just as hard as your offshore assets. So make sure you're comfortable with this piece as well. My fifth tip is to consider the advisor's stage of life. Are they working on your retirement plan, or are you in fact part of theirs? If you're looking to work with an advisor for the long term, who's actually going to keep you on track with your financial goals, then it may be worthwhile identifying someone who is of a similar age to yourself, or even a little bit younger, or potentially a little bit older. Ask them about their retirement plans. What are their long-term goals? Are they planning on being an advisor for the foreseeable future? Are they going to be there when you need them as you go through life and the different stages of advice that you're going to need? And make sure that you're comfortable with the response. My sixth and final tip for you when selecting the right advisor for you is that if it sounds too good to be true, get up and walk away. If they're promising or guaranteeing double-digit returns, you feel it's not based on enough research or just seems a bit unrealistic, then question the advice, and if it doesn't feel right, as I said, get up and walk away. I hope these 6 tips will prove helpful for you when you're looking to select the right advisor for you and your family. If you have any questions or you feel we've missed anything, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you next time.